Hey, everybody, welcome to Buffalo Plus. Mike Catalana with you. This is not going to be a long video. I'm just going to let you know what I think about what the Bills have done as they've released Matt Araiza, the punter from the team. And you guys all know the story. We've all been following what's been going on with Matt Araiza. And it's Brandon Beane who came out tonight, this being Saturday night, to say that the Bills had released him and that culture for the team is more important than winning. And we certainly agree with that. And I think that has been what the way Brandon Beane has led this franchise, along with Sean McDermott. I was a little concerned for a while. I thought this could have happened even quicker. But when you look at it in hindsight, I think the Bills still acted pretty quickly in getting this done. I don't think Matt Araiza told them the full story. I think this team still has some responsibility for the thoroughness that they did their investigation. And I will say this, the statement that the team came out with when they said they had done a thorough investigation and would have no further comment was both naive and a little bit arrogant at that time. To pretend like the world would just say, well, it's okay, the Bills say it's okay, so we're going to go forward. And I give a lot of credit to Bills fans who stood up and said, we love our team. We don't want this on our team. And I think the Bills heard that and saw that, and I think they realized that. And I think some of the things that were not said by Matt Araiza, no matter what the Bills tell you now, and they have no reason to really go after Araiza at this point. They've already released him. I don't think he was 100% truthful with them. I don't think they knew everything that was going to come out in that lawsuit. And if you read the lawsuit, it was damaging. And I heard from a lot of people who would say to me, well, innocent until proven guilty. And I believe that in a court of law. This is not a court of law. This is the NFL. And it's NFL not for long. And that's not just as a football player. It's decisions teams have to make. And the Bills couldn't sit around and wait to have this entire thing adjudicated and to find out all the information and have Matt Araiza on the roster. It does not work that way. It's naive to think that way. The Bills had to make a quick decision, and in relative terms, they did. And I think we saw this coming when the team decided they were not going to play him in the game. And then you started to hear the stories that his name was off the nameplates and that he wasn't wearing Bills gear and all those things. And I think Araiza knew it was coming. Then he released his own statement during the game. That got to me because I thought, well, that didn't come from the team. And Araiza's, in this case, which I guess he needs to do, is looking out for himself. But look at it from the Bills' perspective. Whether they did enough in looking into the situation before they drafted him certainly is up for debate because they ended up picking a guy who at least it had been talked about in that area that there was the possibility of this happening. But that being said, they would not have known the details of this. I do not believe the lawyer, while he contacted the Bills, was going to give them every detail of this because it wouldn't have been to his benefit to let them know everything. But in any case, they did find out about it. They did hear about the lawsuit. They did eventually come to the right conclusion. Matt Araiza is a talent. He's going to have one punt as a Buffalo Bill and went 82 yards. And pardon me for using this word, but it sort of goes to the legend of the punt god. He was named that because of his big leg, and he punts one time and it's 82 yards. But it also becomes his only punt because of his past, which became his present, and it greatly impacts his future. It's the idea that he's never going to punt for the Buffalo Bills, and you have to wonder if the guy will ever kick in the league. But I know you're watching this because you're a Bills fan, and the concern is not whether another team picks him up. It's what the Bills did. They begin their season in L.A. in the primetime game for the entire league. And this franchise that has prided itself on doing the right thing and acting the right way could not trot him out on the field in that opening game and say, here's Matt Araiza, a guy who's been accused in a gang rape. He's our punter. And eventually, maybe there's never criminal charges. And eventually, maybe he's not even found liable in the civil case. And that all could be the case. But the Bills couldn't wait for that. That's not the way this league works. And if you want to believe that's unfair to the guy, go ahead. From the Bills' perspective, from the fans' perspective, they can't have this guy wearing the Bills uniform going forward. And Brandon Beane made that decision. I actually felt for Sean McDermott last night, this being Friday night, when he had to stand in front of reporters and answer those questions. Good, solid questions from Jay Skursky, Elena Getzenberg from ESPN, who also asked great questions, and others who asked poignant questions and questions that needed to be asked. You're not going to ask about the third string tight end in that news conference. It was about Matt Araiza. And McDermott, you could see it. You could feel the anxiety and the pain in his voice when he talked about it. And that's not what he needs, what this team needs going forward. So it's a painful period in Bills franchise history, but it's a short one. And the Bills did the right thing by moving on. Nobody's going to sit back and go, oh my God, if we only had this punter. He's a player on the team. He's a guy who would have had a relatively limited role. Excuse me. Now that role is gone. He's gone. The Bills will find another punter. They will be just fine without Matt Araiza. If he could have been on the team in different circumstances, maybe he would have been great. But the benefits do not outweigh the problems with having him on the team. I said it the day after it happened that I thought it was going to be a relationship that ended. And this morning I wrote and sent on Twitter that I thought it had to happen and it had to happen quickly. And the Bills did respond quickly the day after the game, making this move. So the Bills move on. It's the right move for the franchise. Matt Araiza now has to take care of himself and has to take care of his future, but that's on him. The Buffalo Bills move forward. They'll find a new punter, and that'll be what happened. And now this team can focus on, what you want to see, a team that's poised to try to make a run at a Super Bowl and doesn't have this hanging over their head. I want to know what you think. Leave your comments. We'll be discussing it to whatever point you want to discuss it as the week goes on. But the Bills move forward. Matt Araiza is no longer a member of the Buffalo Bills. I won't even ask you all the things we normally do. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and wanted you to hear them. Let me know what you think. For Buffalo Plus, I'm Mike Catalana. Thanks for watching.